What up, everybody? Hold on, let me adjust my microphone here. Oh man, YouTube Live. Is my background decent? Yeah, my background's decent. You can check out my bed over there. All right. Right now is Sunday night, November 24th, 2019. We're just a month away till New Year's Eve. Holy crap, dude. The year 2019 is about to be over. That's insane. Oh man, you know how they say time flies? Time flies like a mother effer. All right, so I was debating, like, okay, so should I watch Watchmen first or The Walking Dead first? Because they both happen at the same time, 9 p.m. And I was like, I gotta watch The Walking Dead first, man. so so that's why I'll watch tonight's Watchmen episode after I do my live review here with you guys, and then I'll be back to do my live stream review of Watchmen. But right now, let me give you my thoughts about The Walking Dead. And the reason also why I picked The Walking Dead is not because that's more of my favorite show out of the two, but also because tonight is the mid-season finale. Whoa! Talk about time flies, right? Episode 8. Jeez, that means we're gonna have to wait about 3 months till episode 9. Usually mid-season premiere usually happens in February, right? Every year it's always in February. So what happens tonight? Want some? Uh God damn. Siddiq died, man, last week. Woo! We all knew Dante was fishy, man. And that was one of the theories out there, that Dante was Whisper's inside guy, Whisper's spy. And by the end of last week's episode, Dante, because Siddiq found out, so Dante had to kill Siddiq. I got to give the writers of this episode and the show much credit, though, because I thought that they were gonna drag Dante's storyline. You know what I'm saying? It's like I thought it was gonna be like maybe the rest of the gang, Alexandrians and Hilltop and Oceanside, maybe they won't find out about Dante probably going into maybe episode 12, into next year. But nope, 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 nope. Bam, just like that, freaking Rosita comes in with her baby, and then Siddiq almost eats the baby. That was insane. Holy crap. And then of course they capture Dante. So I'm glad. I'm glad that the writers did not drag Dante out. It speaks for those of us who, at least for me, I like seeing bad guys get what's coming to them. I like retribution. That's why I love westerns. It's just like it's so clear, just good guys versus bad guys. Um, and so in this one, it's like, okay, they don't prolong it any longer than necessary. They capture Dante and they're gonna question him, and then even bam, halfway through tonight's episode, guess what happens? Freaking, freaking Gabe ends Dante. It's like bam, stab to the back of the shoulder, to the guts a couple times, to the gut, and yeah, man, Gabe was just not having it. Gabe's like, "You killed my friend Siddiq. I'm taking you out." And so yeah, that's cool. That's, to me, it's like, okay, the bad guy gets what's coming to them. The bad guy gets punishment, justice, in the zombie apocalypse way, obviously, not in the real world, our world. Um, so for those of us who like that, I inherently like that kind of stuff. I love today's episode. Um, but I'm getting ahead of myself here a bit. I have a few notes on my screen I just want to discuss with you. I totally understand Father Gabe's um I guess you can call it reactionary kill. Maybe some of you were surprised by that move. Maybe some of you were like, wow, I didn't think that Father Gabe had it in him, or like, I wouldn't expect him to do such a thing. But I think what really eats him up from the inside, because the rule. Remember the rule that Rick Grimes has had from, I don't know, I forget, for over probably 9 seasons or so. With regards to the three questions that you ask somebody when that somebody wants to join your group, right? That's the rule. You ask them the questions, to you vet them, and I think when Father Gabe was, that scene when he's watching the videotape of Dante, being questioned about that rule or those questions, um, it really pisses him off. Like, it really, like, what did I miss here? How come this was my blind spot? Like, I'm supposed to be the guy that keeps everybody safe. I'm supposed to be like one of the council members that now I got this spy in. Like, I was the one who approved him. Like, I was there. That videotape, I was there with him in that room. And I get it, man. I get it. Obviously, we don't necessarily have Dantes in our lives, but maybe we do. But for me, I've had people who kind of betray my trust. Friends who kind of backstab me in the past, or like, exes who broke my heart. Like, oh, you're just like, what did I miss? Like you, and then you. For me, at least, I beat myself up over it. And I think for Father Gabe's, like, he just he's so, how do you call that? He's so not into, like, dwelling in the what did I miss part. He just wants to take it out on somebody, anybody, and Dante happens to be there. And you might as well take it out on Dante. He's the guy anyway. And in the past, if you remember, Father Gabe has killed before. It's not like he's a saint or anything like that. So when Father Gabe, I keep calling him Father. I just call him Gabe. When Gabe finally kills Dante, to me that does not surprise me. I guess it's sort of, if you want to put the word surprise, I'm surprised that he doesn't do that often. You know, from the moment that we are introduced with Gabe, whatever season it was, I always sense that he's an angry guy. He's like a guy who just keeps his bubbling up. He's angry about the world, angry about God, angry that there are some things that he can't control. Even his philosophy, and then his view, his worldview, and how he views the world. I mean, sometimes it's like anger driven. So when he just like, so furious, and then he just takes it out on Dante like that, I was like, okay, how come that doesn't happen as often as I think it should? Because he's a guy who's clearly just so furious about a lot of things. But on the other side of that, I'm glad Dante's dead, right? Boom. We get that over with, done and done. Um, an example that I want to give you that dragged the whole spy betrayal guy, the inside guy too long, was Designated Survivor. Do you remember Designated Survivor with Kiefer Sutherland? For those of you who haven't seen it, spoiler alert. Kiefer Sutherland plays a president a guy, part of the president's cabinet member, and then he becomes the president after the whole Congress got blown up by a terrorist. Long story short, turns out his VP pick, his vice president pick, is a terrorist inside guy, a terrorist cell, a traitor. And so for, like, I want to say maybe 10 episodes, you can correct me if I'm wrong, they just keep dragging that whole thing with the VP. We, the audience, are always known from the beginning. It's like, oh, it's the VP's the bad guy. But the show just keeps dragging it. Like, oh, they almost got him, or they almost blow his cover, or they almost figure it out, but they never did. He always slips away, and so that frustrated me. So I'm glad that The Walking Dead did not choose to go that direction with Dante. I love it. I love it. Um, Rosita and Eugene, just want a quick comment. Fantastic. Rosita, of course, has to take it out on somebody. Gabe takes it out on Dante. Easy. Rosita, because there's no punching bag, or there's no gym to lift weights in. I used to go to the gym because I was angry. I kid you not. So she takes it out on the zombies, the walkers. Makes sense. Makes sense. And Eugene comes in to help her out. Totally makes sense, right? It's like if Eugene doesn't show up, then that would be an anomaly. And that'd be like, where's Eugene? Eugene should be in this equation. So and Rosita has every right to be pissed off. I was so worried for that baby, man. With that, when City becomes a zombie, he's like, "Ooh, that's a close one." Oh, that was so suspenseful. Um, Now, with regards to, excuse me, let me drink. Mm. The other arc in this mid-season finale, Michonne and the new guy from the naval base. Um, I don't know who this guy is. I think his name is Virgil. So let me ask you, if you've read the comic books, is this Virgil guy from the comic books? Because I never read Robert Kirkman's books. Let me know if this is a character that got taken from the pages, or maybe he's an original new character from the show. Um, but I love the whole sequence with Judith, you know, making sure that Virgil's in place. Because when the commotion happens with the walkers, and Judith's like, "Oh, where's Judith? Oh my God!" And then Judith is like, her eyes are on Virgil, making sure that he's not leaving, and that's fantastic. Judith is one of those characters who just like, I mean, you can't help but like her. You can't help but like Judith. Not only is she adorable, but she's badass, and she's so mature for her age. She's so, I don't know, man. Just like she's when she says like, I've read all the books. Now I want to check out new books from that library we have, down the road. I was like, this kid, like how much more perfect can she be? she she's even a bookworm on top of being badass and being adorbs. Really? It's like, this is like, no other kid is like her, really. She might as well be I don't know, a product out of a factory, because she's so perfect. Um, so I don't know the story about this Virgil, but it's so understandable why Michonne is so hesitant about um, letting Virgil in. And back to what I said earlier. Now pretty much Dante pretty much breach what he did is that he breached the rules, the three questions rules, right? Whatever the vetting system that Oceanside, Hilltop, and Alexandria's had, they're broken now. Because they've been proven to be ineffective, or not even ineffective. They've been proven to be wrong, like breachable by Dante, by a spy. So now they had to come up with something stronger, something more. But then again, this whole Dante thing also plays with their fear and suspicious. Now, um, they probably, at least from how I would see it, maybe they would look around and they would be doubtful of their own friends and peers. Like, who else amongst us could be a traitor? Who else amongst us could betray us and could be a spy for the Whispers? Anybody was like, I don't know what the solution is for that. There's got to be a way to make sure that everybody in that community, whether it's Alexandria, Hilltop, or Oceanside, that they would. If I say pledge allegiance, it sounds corny, but it also sounds authoritarian. You know what I'm saying? So, but you know what I'm getting at? There's got to be a way, not only to vet incoming people, but also a way to make sure that the people who are already within the communities are loyal to those communities. You know what I'm saying? That they cannot be swayed by Alpha and her people or anybody else. That they would, yeah, pledge allegiance to Oceanside, Alexander and Hilltop. That what they do, what they contribute to that society will continue. Be like, I'm part of a I'm a cog in this machine, sort of deal. I don't know how to do that. I guess in the previous season they had that Declaration of Independence or Bill of Rights that they were gonna have everybody do. Um, so it'll be interesting to see what what sort of way, what sort of mechanism, uh, what sort of process, new process that these communities, Alexander's, Hilltop, and Oceanside, will come up with moving forward to make sure that something like Dante does not happen again. Um, Now, I want to end with this mysterious guy, Virgil, the naval base. Again, I don't know if that's part of the comic books, but the idea of there's a naval base community that really excites me. The possibilities are just like, wow, what could they have there? Freaking naval base, right? That's a military base. That means they have weapons. That means they have supplies. Um, but are they hostile? Virgil might look like he's all confused and like he's all scared and paranoid. But what about the rest of his people? Maybe they're not as confused and paranoid as he is. Maybe they're actually more focused and more determined, and maybe they're not good guys. So again, it'll be interesting to see. From that shot, the camera shot spanning across the ocean as Virgil sails away. That's beautiful shot, by the way. Um, and I was like, oh my god! So that's the direction that he's heading, and there's people over there. Oh, I can't wait! I can't wait for the second half of this season. I can't wait to see Negan again with the Whispers next season. I'm sorry, no, the second half of this season. I'm sorry. Lastly, Dan Fogel. I think that's his name, right? The guy who chats up with Judith. The guy who almost dies in the library, um, but got saved by Virgil. Fantastic actor. I've interviewed him once. Obviously, he lost weight for this role because it's a zombie apocalypse. He used to be big, and he's part of the Fantastic Beasts franchise. If you've seen Fantastic Beasts, he plays, I think, the character Jacob, I believe. He's a big fella, but for this series, he skinned down, he slimmed down. I just want to comment real quick that I don't think he's a comic relief on this show, but his personality, his character's personality, is the kind that, I mean, is so irresistible. He just brings a smile to your face. I love that. He lightens the mood, when he makes a comment, when he says something, it's just like that things are not gonna be as tense, except for today with the whole zombie in the library thing. But for most of the time, it's like, he's the kind of guy who's like, all right, I'm glad that he's on our side. So I just want to make that comment real quick. Oh man, yes, fantastic mid-season finale. Can't wait for the mid-season premiere in February. Um, Oh, I almost forgot. God damn, almost forgot. The whole Carol and Daryl thing. Let's end on this. Because by the end of today's episode, Carol runs off. She tries to get at Alpha. And then, Daryl and all the gang, including Carol, they end up in this ditch, uh, like a manhole. And it's like surrounded by zombies. Um, I gotta say, I'm a little conflicted, between Daryl and Carol. I get where Daryl was coming from, like when Daryl gives that speech to Carol, and it's the kind of speech that you usually get from a leader. Freaking Rick Grimes used to give that pep speech, but now because Rick Grimes not around, so Daryl has to step in and he has to give that pep speech. I get where it's coming from. Like don't care about Alpha. Don't let Alpha get in your head. Don't let Alpha mess with your life. Don't let Alpha rob us of our future. I totally get that. I totally get that. But at the same time, because I'm conflicted. At the same time, I'm siding with Carol also, because remember what I said earlier. I'm the guy who likes I'm the guy who likes it when when villains get what's coming to them. So when Carol chases after Alpha in that shot in today's episode, I was like, yeah, go girl, go, run like the demon, get that Alpha bitch. Yes, go, 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 go. So I was just rooting for Carol. I totally understand, Daryl. Okay, I totally understand, and you probably do. Like, if we pursue Alpha further, it might lead to casualties. We don't want any more of our people dying and stuff like that. I get that. I get that. Like, we want our future. But at the same time, when Carol chases Alpha in that field, I was like, or across that field, I was like, yes, get him, get him, get him. That made me sound bad, but I was just loving it. I was just loving it. So, but now they're in the ditch. That's gonna be interesting, right? How are they gonna get themselves out of that ditch? Um, I think the only criticism that I have about Carol chasing after Alpha is that they are in Alpha's grounds, right? They've crossed the border. So they, as in Carol, Daryl, and all the guys, they're not in their borders. You know what I'm saying? They've crossed into Alpha's territory. My point is, you don't have home court advantage, and that's not good. Right? When you don't have home court advantage, that means you don't know what your opponent or that territory has, as far as or in terms of traps, booby traps, or they might lead you to a freaking ditch, like what happened. So um, as stoked as I am about Carol chasing Alpha down, at the same time, it is kind of reckless, because you don't have home court advantage. You haven't studied the layout. There's no blueprint on. There's not like you haven't figured out like, okay, if she's running towards that direction, then she's leading us to this, and that. You don't have that knowledge. You don't have that information. So Carol was just running blind, so to speak. So that's my only criticism, but it doesn't take away from the fact that I was so kind of like, yes, get him, get him. Yeah, the bad guys need to get what's coming to them. So yeah, those are my thoughts about today's episode. Let me know your thoughts about it. What did you think about Gabe killing Dante? What did you think about Carol chasing down Alpha? What did you think about um, Michonne, Judith, and the new guy Virgil? Let me know your thoughts, your theories about the next few episodes, or the next 8 episodes when the mid-season premieres in February. What are your theories about that? Let me know your thoughts, all of them, in the comment section down below. All right, I'm gonna go watch tonight's Watchmen episode, and then I'll be back later on to give you my live stream review of tonight's Watchmen. Okay, subscribe. Let's rock this.